You're listening to Mr. Credit on San Diego 1700 with local credit expert Derek Evans. Now, live in studio, Mr. Credit.
Welcome to Mr. Credit. We are live and local here in San Diego, bringing you the most important hour in radio. No question about it, telling you everything they don't want you to know. Visit MrCreditRadio.com. If you want to send me an email or do a Facebook search for Mr. Credit, and you will find me there. And today we have a lot of things to tell you they don't want you to know. Buckle your chin strap, because your jaw will be hitting the floor multiple times today if you don't. These banks are at it again. They never stop with this stuff. Uh-oh. I'm in the wrong bank here. That actually did work, didn't it? I'm supposed to be 10, right? Let me give you what I was supposed to give you there. There it is. We're going to have some fun today, too. I promise you that. Got all kinds of stuff going on. Experian is an equal opportunity screwer-overer, and so we'll be getting into that. Got a bunch of dirt on the banks today, and I've got a witness to the 3-wood that I hit that I was telling you about on Monday in the studio today. Just so happens to be a good friend, just so happens to be a great guy, and oh, by the way, the best bankruptcy attorney in Southern California, William McDonald, in the studio today. William, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Real quick, a little verification on the 3-wood. This is Mr. Credit Radio on ESPN 1700. I was telling people about that on Monday. We hit we played golf on Sunday, and I hit the 3-wood like 270, sucked it back about a foot on the green for the eagle putt, and I just had only one email doubter of that, which I was glad to see that everybody, believed me. I want the truth! I shoot it straight. I would never tell you a lie. I crushed that thing, didn't I?
It was impressive. I've been telling my friends and family members about that whole
shot. Yeah.
Not only the 3-wood, but the drive was impressive. Over 300 yards.
Yeah, that's true.
And then on the green in 2.
Yeah, it was a 560-yard par 5, so it wasn't a dinker. They got those 490-yard par 5s out there, some of these courses where you can hit like a 7-iron in. It wasn't one of those deals.
So you were just thinking about the banks and you just crushed that.
Actually, I was totally focused on the ball. And that's the thing about golf, is that you have to be so focused. This is the reason why Tiger Woods has fell off. Didn't have focus.
Yep.
He didn't have focus. He made one really big mistake. Didn't call 1-800-DIVORCE. And what happened? Got took to the cleaners. I think she got like $750 million. See, I made the right move. Called 1-800-DIVORCE, and I got the bed. I don't know if I can ring the register on that or not. But I've got a pretty embarrassing story to tell you guys later, too. Tonight, or actually later this afternoon on ESPN 1700, right here, save the station in your dial, Cincinnati at Philly. Got the playoffs kicking off. I think the game's on right now. Texas is up 3-0. And then at 5 p.m., we've got New York at Minnesota. So we got all that action right here. Remember, we're going to have all the baseball playoffs and World Series action right here on ESPN 1700, so save the station in your dial. Now, you're a sports fan as well. I want to do a little baseball here. I'm not going to beat a dead horse.
Wow, that is brutal.
With the Padres situation. I just can't help it. No runs. We're playing for our playoff life, and we can't score a single run in the final game of the season. That's just so brutal. I just can't take it.
It epitomizes the whole season.
Shameful, man. How many times did we get shut out? Did we set a record for that?
I don't know. It was a ton of times.
Brutal.
Too many.
So, let me ask you this.
Especially during the Cubs series is when I look back.
The last 5
missed
games.
Opportunities. 2-1-0 losses to the shoddy Cubs.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
The last 7 games we were shut out 3 times.
Right.
In a pennant race. Anyway.
That's terrible.
So, if you're playing, now you've been a Padres fan for a long time, years and years and years, and you go to a lot of the games. You've been watching the games. I know Lisa used to tell me, if the Padres are on, I better not say anything. So I know you watch a lot of the games. What would you do? Now the season's over. You're Padres GM. I'm going to let you play GM for a second here. What would you do if you were Padres GM? What would you be thinking?
We've got to get some hitting. And I mean, I think
Our lineup is
we need
kinda
to replace
laughable,
the
huh?
outfield. I mean, the center field. Actually, the whole outfield needs to be replaced. Ludwig's probably going to be gone. They're saying that his chances of staying around are 50-50.
Yeah.
I think we should keep Tejada. I mean, I think he definitely carried the team. I mean, that was an
Proved
amazing
himself.
trade.
He played good defense,
But
too.
I guess they're kind of worried about his range at shortstop, so they might move him over to third. But what do you do with Headley?
Get him out of here?
Yeah, he's been. I mean, defensive. You know, he was great, but
Hey,
I mean,
I'm sorry.
you got to have some production at third base.
I'm sorry. Headley, like you're a nice guy. I like your dog. I saw your dog on the thing at Petco. Don't have room for it. You know, if you can't hit like 260, you know, which we have very few people hitting above 260 in our lineup. Our lineup really is laughable. It's laughable. It's a laughable lineup. You know, it's one thing when you can look and you can go, the defense is so good. You know, we make up for it, and we got away with it for a long time, just with timely hitting and all that stuff. That stuff runs out eventually. So you think hitting, you think go for the bats. Who do you like?
Well, the big decision is what are we going to do with Adrian Gonzalez and Heath Bell? You know, we have them through 2011, through next season, but obviously Adrian has some huge value right now. He had another amazing year.
He's just like Pujols. They just don't
he's so
stop.
good. I mean, I can't imagine what that guy would do in like the Philadelphia or Cincinnati and some of those smaller ballparks. I mean, he'd
hit 50 home runs.
He'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Especially with some other hitters around him.
How many times did he hit a 400-foot out in Petco this year? I mean, multiple that I saw, and I only went to maybe a dozen games. So you think it bats. Who do you like in the World Series? Who do you think is going to take it down? I've got my pick. I'm going to write it down right here just so you know I'm not messing with you. All right, go.
I think it's going to be the Phillies and the Yankees. Unfortunately, I hate the Yankees.
You know, I don't.
And they own the Twins, so I know that's not going to be much of a series. And I don't. I think the Phillies are just peaking right at the right time. They had a lot of injuries earlier in the season.
That's true.
And they're
Still won
healthy
like 93
now.
games.
And their pitching is really coming around. Cole Hamels out of Rancho Bernardo,
Yeah,
local
true.
product. He's
That's true.
pitching really well right now. So
Okay, I like that. I'm going to say the Reds. Now, I know there are a lot of teams you could go with. I just had this feeling. I'm giving you a Nostradamus moment right now.
Dusty Baker fan, huh?
No, not at all. Don't like him, actually. I think he's got a bad attitude. But I'm
They
going
did a lot with a lot of young talent.
They are doing a lot, you know, and I just feel like they're the team that has made the consistent surge, not just the last second surge, but the consistent surge the last quarter of the season. They seem to be consistently winning games down the stretch, and I think that there's a built-in confidence with that longer term, you know, consistent winning. It just feel when I just think about the ball cap. Who's going to get their hand raised at the end of it all? And I just feel like I see the Reds cap there. So
It's a bold call.
we'll see.
Especially since the Padres took 2 out of 3 from them a couple of weeks ago. That's
yeah,
kinda worrisome.
well, you know, the Padres were playing the Padres ball at that point, and that kind of just went away. So we definitely have that. We've got a bunch of stuff going on here now. These foreclosures right now, what's going on with them and what's happening, it's just absolutely nuts. And we're going to go into some great detail, you know, before long here. But I wanted to get this in because our friend Experian, who is, when I say our friend, obviously I am not being honest with you there.
Straight, just being facetious.
Yeah, just flat out. You know, that's why I bring you on the show. You're such a wordsmith. You know that? And and a fantastic co-host too. But check this out. So Experian Marketing Services launched is launched to double the company's size. So Experian PLC, the global information services company, also credit bureau and non-discriminatory scrutineer of the consumer, today launched the Experian Marketing Services in Cyberjaya, which will double the size of the company in Malaysia.
Wow.
So isn't this funny that they are so hell-bent on growing this business of taking people's information and selling it, and then creating models of things like credit scoring that people can't understand, and using flaws in that system to make money, that they're taking it outside of the country. They, you know,
outsource it.
That means they feel like they have dominated and made as much money as they can make off of the consumers here in America. I'm going to say now Experian's my least favorite of all the bureaus because they're the ones who are doing the dirty stuff just over and over and over and over. I'd be scared for the Malaysians. I think this is going to do some damage to the consumers. I'm serious. I really do. I think that this is going to be something that has long-term effects. What are you going to do? You can't stop a company that's making hundreds of millions of dollars every quarter profit by taking your information, selling it, and creating a scoring model that helps keep your score down so that the banks can charge you more money and they can look better when it comes down to it. Now, there's only one thing, and we talk about things that they don't want you to know. The biggest thing they don't want you to know, and this includes Experian, is how good Chapter 7 bankruptcy is for you. It's bad for them, and it's good for you. Because all these things that work against you, like the credit bureaus, the credit card companies, the big banks, the one thing that you have that's 100% legal to fight back is Chapter 7 bankruptcy. It is your shield.
It's the only ammunition you have as a consumer, I would say.
Yeah. I mean,
that's a slam dunk.
That's the only thing where you can level the playing field. And what I mean by that is when a person files for Chapter 7 bankruptcy, what they're doing is they're essentially deleting all of their credit card debt, unsecured debts, medical bills, collections, personal loans. Student loans don't count, obviously. That could change. If it does, holy moly. We'll have several shows dedicated just to that because the student loans and the education business are just another thing that's out there that's holding people back. You can also have some IRS tax debt discharge. You can stop foreclosure. You can eliminate a bad auto lease or a lease on an apartment. Or, I mean, any of these debts that are unsecured can be eliminated. Contracts that you might have with different service providers or whatever it is. Let's say DirecTV or any of those. These are all dischargeable items in a Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Why is it so good? Only takes 100 days. Credit score goes higher almost every single time. Imagine if you were able to get rid of all those debts and become debt free. How would that feel? How would you feel if you could put that money that you're throwing at those high interest credit cards in your pocket every day and every month? It would feel great. Now listen, if you want to learn more about how you can become debt free, call William McDonald's office and get your free consultation. 858-437-0103. Take this number down. 858-437-0103. Remember what we're trying to do in the show. We're trying to put more money in your pocket, keep you from making mistakes, help you have a higher credit score, and live a better life. Chapter 7 does all of those things, and that's why I'm such a fan of it. You don't have to live with the stress. You don't have to deal with the creditor calls. You don't have to not live a life that makes you happy because of credit card debt. Become debt-free today. Call William McDonald's office, 858-437-0103. Just tell them Mr. Credit sent you. It's a free consultation. You don't file bankruptcy today. You just become educated first. 858-437-0103. When we come back, Randy Moss to the Vikings? I don't believe it, but it's happening, man. And we're going to give you the dirt on the banks that they don't want you to know. Everything they don't want you to know when we come back to Mr. Credit Radio, ESPN 1700.
If you have questions about your credit, call 858-673-4299. That's 858-673-4299 to speak with Mr. Credit, or go to MrCreditRadio.com.
Are you sick and tired of just barely making the minimum payments on your credit cards? Do you have any idea how many years it will take for you to pay them off? Hi, Mr. Credit here. If you're robbing Peter to pay Paul, listen very closely. Filing for Chapter 7 bankruptcy protection could allow you to eliminate all of your credit card debt and typically only lasts about 3 months. Most likely, your credit score will go much higher afterward. The only person I recommend you speak with about this is William McDonald with the McDonald Legal Group. Call him right now. 858-437-0103. That's 858-437-0103. A 90-day late payment on a credit card will hurt your credit score as much as filing for bankruptcy will. So stop living paycheck to paycheck and call William right now for your free consultation. 858-437-0103. That's 858-437-0103.
This is Lisa with the McDonald Legal Group. We are a debt relief agency. We help people file for bankruptcy relief under the Bankruptcy Code.
The CNDH has spent the last 20 years defending your rights. As we celebrate our independence, it is important to understand our rights. If you feel your rights have been violated, call 1-800-715-2000. This message was brought to you by the National Commission of Human Rights.
You know, I've worked with plenty of different mortgage companies in San Diego, and while there are some who do a great job, there is only one that I can say is truly the best in the business. The Craig Sewing Lending Group provides an experience and expertise in real estate financing that is absolutely second to none. I've known Craig for a dozen years, and I know you would be satisfied working with him. Call 888-880-9500. That's 888-880-9500, or go to craigsewing.com if you're interested in buying real estate in Southern California. It's also worth considering the terms on your loan if you already own property.